everyone, and welcome back to another unboxing. This time we have something more in line with what you kind of expect from this channel. It's not a CD, it's not a vinyl, it's not a board game, it's nothing, well, it's a little different, but we'll just get into it here. So, and there they are. They're all just floating, which is not really that good. So, as you can see, they are the ERTL Theodore Tugboat characters. Theodore is a show that I tried to watch all of it, but I think the problem when I was watching it was that a lot of them were missing from YouTube, and like playlists were incomplete. I couldn't find some episodes just on their own, and it was just kind of a chore to watch all of it because it's not really a show that's intended to be binge watched like I was trying to do, especially when stuff is just like not even present. So Theodore isn't a show I've really watched a ton of. I've not seen the whole series. I've seen a good amount of episodes, just not all of it. From what I've seen, it's good. I'll say that it's good. It's not quite on the same level as Thomas or Tugs, as it's probably more easily compared to, given that the creators of Tugs, well, the creator David Mitten did not work on it, but the producer of Tugs, Robert Cardona, he was one of the main people behind Theodore Tugboat. And Theodore Tugboat overall was a much more successful show than Tugs, as evident by the merchandise that I have of it, versus the only thing for Tugs I have is the board game and custom stuff like that. But yeah, the Theodore Tugboat ERTLs were much more widely released. They're much more easy to find. And I figured, you know what? I might as well buy them. You know, I've been wanting them for a while now. I might as well start my Theodore collection now. So, here it is. Here's a lot of the 5 main characters, I guess you could argue. Here's, of course, the main one here, Theodore. It's gonna focus there. There's the nameplate, and you got like the tires and everything. There's the bottom, ERTL, and the date is 1998, I think. Yeah. So there's Theodore. He looks good. You know, he looks accurate. The only thing I'd say is off is the face. It's kind of too small, I feel like, because if I pull another one here, like, that's more what they're supposed to look like. Faces. Their eyes are meant to be, like, a lot bigger, and Theodore's are kind of small. Which just kind of makes him look a little odd, but, you know, he's okay. Got the hat. A big difference between the Tugs of Theodore and the Tugs of Tugs is that these are all diesel tugs. None of these are steam tugs. So, they have a little bit of a different appearance. But there's Theodore. Looks nice. Here is Hank, which don't remember a ton of what Hank actually does. I think he's supposed to be like Theodore's best friend, kind of the Percy role of the show, or the Sunshine. I just don't remember a ton that he does on his own, or even with Theodore. But there's Hank. Again, looks pretty accurate from what I remember of how he looked. I have a feeling a lot of these look, I guess there's some difference, but there's a lot that just kind of look the same, just because they're all like the same livery and everything. Here is Emily, which, you know, very creative name, coming from very creative name for a sentient vehicle show. But Emily, I don't remember Emily being this giant, but I mean, I guess Theodore and Hank are supposed to be like the smaller ones. But there's Emily. You know, again, very nice. And decent size, too. I thought they would be smaller than this. But I'm glad they're bigger, because, makes them look nicer, I guess. Better detail and everything. Yeah, that's what, because George had, like, George was getting there with his eyes compared to Theodore. But I think Emily is the first in our lineup here that really captured what the style of the show is meant to look like. Yep, Emily looks good. I don't remember a ton about Emily, to be honest. Don't remember anything she does, but oh well. Here is George. It's gonna focus. Yep. George, if I remember correctly, is kind of like the James or the Top Hat of the show, except I mean much more reeled in than those two. Which makes sense. You know, Theodore is a much more reeled in show. Much like lower stakes, kind of just more calm almost. Has a very unique feel to it that not a lot of other shows I think have. But there's George. I remember there's one episode where he has like something on fire on his back, and I think that's like the most tugs that this show really ever gets to. I've saved my favorite for last, Phoduck. He was always my favorite character. I don't know why. I just like him. I don't know how I'd describe him in relation to another character from a show, though. Because like, I don't feel like he's really that much of a... I don't know, he's kind of like Big Mac, I guess, you could say. Or maybe like Duck, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just saying that because of the name. But anyway, there's Phoduck. He's the firefighter, I guess. He's the hose, the, things like the lifeboat or whatever. And then, of course, the fire helmet, which I think is like the most... Well, I guess Hank has beanie or whatever it's supposed to be. And Emily has this, like, I don't know hats, like, whatever this hat is, but, Theodore and George have, like, the baseball caps, but Phoduck's different. I don't know, I guess George is a little bit bigger, but I always remember Phoduck being the biggest. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, or maybe the toys are just slightly out of scale, but those are the five, that I bought. The ERTL line for Theodore is pretty massive, at least compared to, like, what ERTL did for Tugs, which is just 10 cents in sunshine. At least ones that actually got officially produced. But, like, they have, of course, all the 5 main characters here that I have. They have barges, they have sets, they have other kind of ships and stuff. They have basically, like, almost every, like, important character. And even characters that aren't important, I think, got toys. They did not make a few characters. I think they were going to, but they got canceled. And some characters were just, like, not important enough to make toys of, which makes sense. Or maybe they were going to and just never got around to it. But, yeah, I like these. They seem very nice. And despite just being thrown in the bag, which was pretty poor packaging, they look like they're in pretty good condition. Which is nice, because I want to buy stuff that's actually decent, at least for a good price, you know? For the price I pay, I expect something to be decent. The only thing I'd say I have a complaint about these is, I mean, aside from Theodore and George looking a little off with their faces, they don't have an easy way to connect to the barges, which I feel like is something that ERTL just kind of struggled with, was, like, the actual, like, playability of some of the stuff that they made. Like, the tenders on the Thomas engines were never disconnected, so there were all these long-ass engines that couldn't really make sharp turns. Their couplers weren't really that good, and, I mean, these don't even have couplers, so... Which, I don't know, I feel like if even just, like, a little hook and a loop or something, like a Tomy coupler, or, like a magnet, like, take along, would be nice, but... Oh, well. You know, I don't have any of the barges or anything right now, so it's not like it really matters a whole lot, but, I'm gonna pull in a couple things to compare them to. Alright, so I pulled in a couple things just from, my background here, and this Ertl Thomas. So this is how big it is. So yeah, I mean, it's not huge, but it's a decent size. It's definitely not in like scale, if we're talking like tugs wise, because like, I don't know, like this might be in scale with like a mini's Thomas or something. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of the general size of Theodore. It's one of the bigger ones. You know, they're that big. So, decent size, you know, but not giant. There's a take along. Take along significantly bigger. Okay, Percy just died. I'm not fixing that. And then here's my custom 3D printed 10 cents. This was a model on, I have no idea what website. I just found it online. And I printed it and painted it up. I think I scaled it up though, because the general, like the standard size is like much smaller. But yeah, it's almost kind of in scale. I feel like if 10 cents was like accurately proportioned the way he is in the show, it would be the same size, or generally like in scale. I mean, maybe the Ertl 10 cents is in scale, but yeah. So I'll probably buy more of these in the future. The next one I'll probably go for is a couple of like the barges or something, or maybe some new in-box items, because I want to get new in-box stuff for Theodore too. All these 5 in box, all the other ones in box, and all the other ones out of box. Plus Ertl has different sizes. There's 2 like big ones. It's Theodore and Hank, which are like much bigger, and they can change their expression, which I want to get both of those. So probably not the next thing I'll buy, but pretty soon I'll probably be building my Theodore collection a lot bigger. But for now, these 5 are a pretty good start, and I'm happy to have them. You know, they look nice. Don't know if they'll be in any videos, but I don't know. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this random kind of unboxing. You know, I realize I've never really talked about Theodore on this channel, but now's as good a time as any. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.